It's the rundown, September 5th, 2024. And most importantly, the first day of the NFL season. We made it, boys. It was a long winter of discontent, and we are finally back. And with that comes some DraftKings time. That's right. NFL Week 1 is here, and a new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Fans have spoken. We want to bet on touchdowns. DraftKings heard us and is delivering. You know, guys, I love my touchdown bets. DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly, plus 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us, which you can watch all that great NFL content. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code RUNDOWN. That's code RUNDOWN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us. Offer ends September 19th, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. And fellas, we finally made it. Week 1 of the NFL. Dante, you in the car right now? I can't, I got the screen looks a little small. Are you in the Dante mobile?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I just got lectured by White Sox Dave on what a trash bag I am for doing rundown in the car. So
That's exactly what I said. That's
that
exactly.
should
I made it
that sh-
personal. I took digs at Dante. I ripped him apart limb by limb and emotion by emotion. And like he's correct. He's correct.
I'm shook. I'm shook.
I like it. That car has a lot of nice natural sunlight. What kind? I mean,
That's a Porsche right there. That's a Porsche Cayenne SUV. That's like a $100,000 car he's in right now.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
I actually have the license plate if you want it, Clem.
yes, I would like it. Actually, just tweeted out.
Look, I'm driving 500 glasses back to Chicago. I had to come to Cleveland. I'm on my way back to Chicago. I had to pick up stuff for a bar. That's why I'm here. I'm in a gas station. Sorry, not in a studio.
Hey, we all putting the team on your back. I appreciate it. Just happens to be in a Porsche. So be it. You know, I'm sure it was just a coincidence. You didn't want to show the Porsche off. You and Dave worked some stuff out behind the stage. But seriously, great to have the NFL season back. Let's just go across the board here. White Sox, Dave, is this the most anticipated Bears season of your lifetime?
It's maybe there. I mean, there might have been a year or two in there.
No, the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think maybe post Super Bowl year.
Oh yeah, post Super Bowl year. That's fair.
In 05, 06 that was, but yeah, it's the most hyped. It's the most excited I've been for a football season in my entire life. If you look at the Bears Reddit page, right now they have they use the jersey numbers counting down the days, and at 54 it was Brian Urlacher. They're like Brian Urlacher days until week 1 kickoff, and it seemed like that was 10,000 years ago. Time is crawling right now. I cannot wait for kickoff tonight. I think it's going to be an outstanding game, and I personally think the Ravens are going to steal one on the road to kick off the 2024 season.
It's funny you say that, Dave. I was looking at that 2.5, 3, whatever BKC. I'm like, you know what? Kind of like the Ravens here, and then I'm like, idiot. You said last year, me, idiot. Do not bet against Patrick Mahomes ever again, especially in a big game. So I'm just off on the Chiefs. I'm not betting for them, against them. It's just that game exists in its own little world. But it's
while I would typically agree with you, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not betting this game because it's the first week of the season. It's the first game of the first week of the season, so I have to. But typically, like this is week 5 or whatever, I would probably err with caution like you, Clem. But I for some reason I think they're gonna keep him off the field a little bit. Mahomes, they're just gonna chew up yards on the ground with Henry and
you also have to remember Kansas City came out so flat last season. They were awful the first 2 months of the year, and
until they played the Bears.
They really turned it on the second half heading into the playoffs. So I think same thing, Super Bowl hangover. I think it's going to take them a little bit to get going. I like Baltimore tonight too.
Oh man, we're all like in Baltimore. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, that's not good.
The words of the wise of the people at home. You may want to fade the 3 idiots speaking right now. Also, I mean, this is a topic that's later on in it. Travis Kelce, he's gone Hollywood on us. He's in an FX horror show that I guess doesn't look all that great. Grotesquerie is the name of it. It's starting. It's a Hulu show. Obviously, he's been in the news with the alleged conspiracy theory that our conspiracy theorist writer Dante published, which caught some heat from Keegs. Keegs gets some Taylor Swift on her radar. She starts firing shots, but it's all love there. Then there was rumors that Taylor Swift is fucking putting plays together, like she's playing Madden to try to feed her boys some more targets here, Dante.
Yeah, Riggs blogged it last week. Patrick Mahomes made it little slip, and then Kelce was on Rich Eisen's show yesterday, and Eisen asked him about it, and Kelce confirmed it. Yeah, he said Taylor Swift's been drawing up plays that she wants him to give to Andy Reid, and he said most of them are geared towards him naturally. But I don't know. I blogged it kind of saying, like, is she trying too hard? Do you really want your girlfriend being that invested in football where she knows the X's and O's, or do you just want her to be cool with you checking out for 12 hours a day on Sunday and watching football all day? Like, I feel like it's a little too much.
Kelce's not making songs. He's not like, honey, I think this ballad would go really well, and maybe we'll get Ed Sheeran on, the hook or something like that. Like church and state kind of a thing. Dave, have you ever, did you ever have a girlfriend that was, giving you tips on how to, maybe hit a baseball better back in the day?
No, and if she did, I'd puke in her face. There's like, this is recorded. You guys can take this out if you want, but there are differences in the world, and I know equality and all this. That's just one of them. I don't need a tip from you how to swing a baseball bat. You're a girl.
I mean,
just like I don't need Taylor Swift drawing up football plays on how to run a jet sweep with Patrick Mahomes with Travis Kelce leaking into the flat. Like, I do not need that. Keep some separate, like church and state, like you said.
Remember we had that thing at Barstool years ago where like us idiots could call the plays. It was like you call the play kind of a thing where it's like you're straight up making the play. That would be banana. I do think like Big Cat Pride could get a connection with some of the Bears. You guys could like draw up a Bears play like within the next decade, especially if you guys get good. Caleb's there. It seems like you guys are playing ball with the Bears. You guys have your new show. What's the name of the new Bears show?
We don't have one yet. What's our
Unnamed
name?
Bears
Do we
show.
have a
Even
name?
better.
We don't have a name. Chief says no name.
Who needs a name? Who needs
You
a
don't
name these days and
just
age?
go listen to the show with just go listen to it.
Just click on the social media accounts.
In hindsight, I will say this on that exact topic really quick. I do think we probably picked a poor name for our last show, the mid show that didn't really flow very well. But that's okay. That's why you fix and remedy things. But I don't know.
Also, you guys can 100% get a play in that Bears playbook. It's probably this thin. Eberflus needs all the help he can get. He's probably going to welcome you guys submitting plays to him. You guys should get on it.
I love Dante is like he's obviously a Pats fan, but he has like Bears connections. But he can rib when he wants to rib, and then he can love when he wants to love. It's the perfect place to be in. I love it.
It's what I like to call a fair weather fan, actually.
No, listen. I'm actually just Clem. You can check when we sign off on this. I'm finishing up a blog right now, admitting I think I was wrong about Caleb Williams and admitting why I think I was wrong. 5 points. Starting with, I'm gonna say I think he's got real character. From everything I've read, everything I've seen on Hard Knocks, I think he's the real deal, like leadership wise, which says a lot for a kid his age. And I've been really, really impressed. And I did not expect that coming in from USC.
I don't think you expected it because you're like 1,000 years old, and he's like he's the first young quarterback not the first young quarterback, but he's a generation below you.
He's the face of Gen Z right now.
It looks weird. His leadership qualities, they're not what we're accustomed to, like the nail painting and the person, the GQ and all that shit. Like, once you just kind of forget about that and just keep it to football, like from a fan perspective, then you're like, that is the dude right there. That's the fucking...
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, I don't give a fuck about the nail painting and all that. Like that shit, like I have friends that are musicians that do all that. I don't judge people by that. And dude, I fucking would take a bullet for a quarterback that used to kiss his kids on the lips. Like, I'm not into that weird stuff doesn't bother me. I'm talking about how he is as a locker room guy, an on the field guy, a field general, and obviously watching him play, the kid can fucking play. I don't think there's any disputing that, but I'm just really impressed with the kind of person he is. I didn't expect him to be that. I thought he was going to be a bag of shit, but it
I have
seems like he's a really good guy.
I have a question for like the Chicago, because like right now, like you said, Chicago through the roof vibes. You're going summertime shy straight into like football season, and that usually will put a little bit of the brakes because obviously the Bears have had their struggles over the years. If you guys just keep ascending here, I feel like everyone's in a great mood. But if like he stumbles and gets off to a rough start, how quick do the Chicago people turn on their own? Because I mean, Mets
Oh,
fans were turning on Francisco Lindor instantly.
It
Now he's a fucking
oh,
MVP candidate.
oh, dude, that fucking Chicago is the town of Chicken Little. Like the sky is falling immediately, which sucks. That was one of my arguments. I wish that, you know, this kid was playing behind somebody and they weren't just throwing him right into the fire. I get that they are primed to win right now with the talent they have on this roster. So they're playing to win. They're not playing to, build this kid up. So I understand that, but I hope for his sake and for all my Chicago Bears fans' sake that he doesn't struggle badly to begin with, and the town doesn't jump all over him and sports radio doesn't crucify him, because last thing I want to see is him get eaten alive like the city did at Trubisky and Fields. Sucks.
Mhm.
It sucks
it
seeing
would
that
be
happen to a
like,
young kid.
but the thing, it's different because once again, the Bears traded up for Fields. They traded up for Trubisky. There was a lot of question marks. Can those guys be NFL quarterbacks? Can they read an NFL defense? Are they more athlete than quarterback? Are they gonna, develop accuracy? You don't hear that same stuff with Williams.
Good
I mean,
points.
how often, especially in recent history, how often has a 1-1 quarterback been a complete and total fucking bust? It doesn't really happen anymore. And that's what I was saying. Like, I think at the outset, from the first snap he takes on Sunday, he is going to be, from game one, in game one, he will be a good quarterback, like a middle third quarterback and like if he's like the 20th best quarterback in the league this year, I think that is a problem. I expect him to be 10th, 12th, 13th ish,
Mhm.
because of everything around him. Like Dante said, it's such a different situation compared to just past guys. And Dante's like, I wish he had a chance to sit. No, this is a guy you give the keys to and you let him go. You let him go. And I can't wait until week one. He's gonna tell everybody through his game that I'm here to stay. Here I am. I am confident that that's gonna happen.
I hope so, man. Like again, like
I'm confident that's gonna happen.
positions and teams that have been like haunted. Obviously, the Browns jersey is viral, but the Bears jersey is its own fucking,
Yeah.
graveyard in itself you could do over the years. So, I mean, I hope it's the case. And I don't know if there'll be blockheads Bears fans who'd be like, oh, he paints it. Like if he struggled or, something goes down and they start saying, because his personality is a little quirkier than what the old folks are used to, if there'll be like a pushback on that, but whatever.
Who
It's
gives
all
a shit?
positive
Yeah.
vibes. We're all 0-0. We're all making the fucking playoffs. Gonna
Clem,
get 9 to 12 wins, right?
Clem, honestly, it is the best place in the world to be when the Bears are doing well, and not even like Super Bowl contenders, although they have been a couple times since I've lived here, but when they're just competitive
Mhm.
and in the race and playoffs are like in their sights, this city, Chicago, is on a whole different level. It doesn't matter what the other teams are doing, how successful the other teams are. When the Bears are good, Chicago comes alive and is fucking electric. So you can't live in the city and not want to see the Bears do well. It's just it's the best place ever. So even as not a full on Bears fan, I will really want to see them like do well this year.
Yeah, as long as they don't affect my Giants at all, like I'm nothing but the best for the Chicago people. You just want to see those guys, like same with the Browns. Like I want to see them They obviously went with a different quarterback who has not, worked out so well for them. But you just want to see like franchises like that get off the schneid. As a Mets fan, it's like I think a lot of the other people that are in the misery want to see us get off the schneid as well. So hopefully that's the case. It's kind of the case here in New York, where the Knicks are the one team that brings all New York together. Sounds like the Bears are the biggest team, obviously, of the White Sox and the Cubs, which is a big baseball town, but they're always feuding, as our guy Dave can tell us. So a lot of Caleb Williams talk to start. We'll keep it with the sports. Give me one take on just one other game. Week 1, we have Packers Eagles in Brazil on Friday night, which is fucking Goodell just stealing from the high schoolers. Sunday Night Football, Rams Lions, Jets Niners on Monday night. Dante, you got to take on any of those games?
Yeah, I think Rams Lions is the NFL is getting so good at putting together these storyline games.
Yep.
With everything. Obviously, they're still playing the Stafford, Detroit angle with that. Obviously, Detroit's in a much different spot than they were. I have some of my best friends are Detroit guys, and it's funny seeing them so pissed off and angry at how much respect the Lions are getting and how heavily they're being bet futures wise by Vegas. It's like driving them insane. Like they're like, no, we don't want people thinking the Lions are going to be good. It's going to fuck everything up. Like they want to be off other teams' radars, but they're a heavy favorite now. I feel like, it's not going to be as easy as they think going through this regular season. I feel like teams are going to get up for them and they're going to get every opponent's best shot. So I think Sunday night's going to be surprising. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams at least cover. I wouldn't be stunned if they steal it.
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions to win the Super Bowl. So, fucking, I hate to tell you, Lions fans, but you're not everyone when you're the little scrappy team, you want teams to respect you, but you don't want everyone to get on the bandwagon and then make you the favorite because all the shit that comes with it. Dave, you got anything on any of these games?
I don't know. I think it's funny that they're playing a game in Brazil, considering everything that's going on there right now. It's like I'm trying to imagine what any sporting event would look like, or any like global event like this is going to be, where you don't have people live tweeting it.
Dave,
for like on site, like
Dave, for our listeners that are out of the news loop, can you give us like a 2-second synopsis of what's going on there?
They banned Twitter in Brazil. We don't have to get into the whole obvious debate surrounding that, but like there's going to be beat guys for both teams. Like what are they going to be do? Oh, 4th and 2 from the like you have to be watching that TV.
Got to dust off those threads,
like
baby. We all opened our threads
fine
account a few months ago, right?
It's like an $8,000 fine a day if you get caught using a VPN or some shit.
Really?
It's insane.
What's the Instagram, Twitter competitor?
Threads.
Yeah, they're gonna be on Threads, lighting that up.
They're gonna have like 6 reposts, 3 likes. Like no one goes on that shit. Everyone got an account and then everyone forgot about it like a week later. It was one of the most incredible things. That's like the Friday night. NFL would never touch Friday night as high school. They took over Christmas from the NBA. They're taking over Friday night. They're sent into a fucking country that has some crazy shit going on. Goodell will have them play on the sun if he could. He doesn't give a fuck about the players.
Nope.
And these guys are playing on short rest. In fucking, your brains are mush by the end of like the week, and these guys have to come back 3 days later and play again. It's a fucking shit show. The Jets on Monday night is just cruel, and like there's a chance everything's fine, but like doing that to the Jets after they were on Monday night last year, the Aaron Rodgers game, the 9/11 game, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's just like
what did KFC say? What did he like guaranteed a Super Bowl championship or something?
Oh my god,
did
he say that?
I not word for word, but he was cocky as could be. And I told him, that little fucking cocksucker. I told him, I'm like, the Mets are still the Mets until clock strikes midnight and they win a World Series. They're still the Mets in spite of Cohen. I was correct, and I have been correct so far. Same thing with the Jets when they got Rodgers. Same thing. They're still the Jets until further notice. And I am at the point with Kevin where I'm like, you'll just never get it, because I root for loser teams myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point where I like to see Kevin fail. Thoughts? And
That's
his team just fail.
So,
thoughts.
all right. So as a fan of, I'm talking to two fans of two huge loser teams,
Mhm.
actually. As a fan of now a new loser team, I think New England's far and away the worst team in the league. And I feel like they're gonna be for a very long time.
They might
Trying
be.
to trying to come around and cope with this, like, do you have any advice? Like, how the hell do I adjust to just sucking for the foreseeable future? And like, how do you still get up for football every Sunday knowing your team's gonna get their dick kicked in?
It'd be
Oh,
different if like I could speak from a position like you where I have a million fucking championship rings. I don't really. I mean, the Bulls and Blackhawks, but those aren't my sports personally, you know?
so I went from like the Eli era, which had its was a roller coaster, but we did win a couple, and then now the Giants have been a fucking laughing stock here. Two things, three things: gambling, fantasy sports, and the red zone or Sunday ticket. Like, just don't like watch good. I just like watch shit that makes you happy, do shit that makes you happy. Find other ways to enjoy the NFL because your team probably will not give you any or much enjoyment. So those three things are the biggest three things. Go to those as your ways to get your fix every single Sunday because the Patriots probably are not going to do it at least for a while here. And also, like, be prepared. And you saw this firsthand, Dante, in Chicago. Be prepared for like if Drake May starts out slow, it's like half the fan base hates him, half the fan base loves him. Daniel Jones still doing it in New York. Justin Fields was that way in Chicago. And you just have to deal with like civil wars within your fan
Yeah.
base. Nobody gave shit to Bill or Brady or, Mr. Kraft or Portnoy, as we know, the big four there in New England. So, and then once everything started going awry, that's when people started taking sides. Just be prepared. Like, there's going to be civil wars about every single pick. Saquon was hated. Odell was hated here. Danny's been taking shit since he got drafted. It's just always a civil war when you have a bad team.
That's like unbelievable advice, Clem, as usual. Thank you.
Yeah, my last decade, I got hired at Barstool, and the Giants just went to shit essentially. So maybe it's my fault. So that's the best way to go about it, Dante. You'll be fine though, pal. You'll get on the other side. And Dave, for me and you, I remember. I'm old enough to remember when the Patriots were like the White Sox and the Mets. So like,
Yeah, right.
it can turn around for us. You just have to have the right owner, and then he hires the right guy, and you go from there. And maybe the Mets are in that way. But maybe this is the year. Kevin Tunstall in March. Maybe this is the year he can't even enjoy the Mets World Series because everyone reminds him he gave up on him back before the fucking
Dude,
season.
what? So what the hell happened to that team? I looked up and like
They're hot.
They're in a playoff race now. What?
Grimace threw out the first pitch of a game. They stopped losing after that. They rebranded their logo to the rainbow for Pride Month. So the Gay Mets just became the hottest team in baseball. We had Hawk Tua throughout the first pitch. They're like 13-6 since she did that. So it's like we're the meme team at this point. We had our opening day, our veteran of the day, his name was Seymour Wiener. And then we had this guy who was just this kid who was wearing like pimp gear, just went viral. The Mets rallied after they showed him on the screen. They called him the rally pimp. It's like the meme season. It's a dream season, meme season for the Mets. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm having too much fun to like try to figure it out. We are just winning on vibes right now. And it's great. Oh yeah. And like our shortstop has like, or our backup second base middle infielder has like the hottest song in the game, OMG. I'm sure you've heard it as a music guy, Candelita. So it's all that shit just going on. Baseball is like 20% the actual game, 80% just weird shit and vibes. So we're just gonna let it ride.
Like this is the year to be in a place like that too, because it feels like it's wide open this season.
Big time. There's no like just dominant team and all those years we had dominant teams, they didn't win shit anyway. So we'll see where it goes.
You don't think Philly is?
Philly?
Yeah.
We're like 7 behind them now, and we play them. So I mean, we could kind of start nipping.
No, I'm saying you don't think there's like a dominant team?
Who is Philly? Bryce just got hurt yesterday. I mean, Philly is good, but like every team has kind of come back to the pack. The Dodgers aren't even doing typical Dodger stuff, which is probably the year that they'll actually win a real World Series instead of the Mickey Mouse. So there's a lot of ways it can go.
Hey, how about this? How about this for a baseball story?
We have to get the ads in. We have to get the ads in.
John won a game yesterday. We can just
we're going to go back to that. We'll go back to that. So we're just talking about Candelita OMG. If you want to listen to OMG, you got to get your Raycons. You may have heard me talk about Raycons everyday earbuds before and thought, wait, the same audio quality I expect from the big guys, but at half the price. Sounds pretty good. But if you haven't pulled the trigger on a pair of Raycons, now is the time to check them out because they just launched your upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds. With Raycon's upgraded everyday earbuds, you also get active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. Available in a variety of vibrant new colors like purple and green to complement any and all skin tones. Seriously, if you've been waiting to check out Raycons, there is truly no better time. Their upgraded model will blow you away. Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go to buyraycon.com/barstool today to get 15% off your Raycon order plus free shipping. That's right. You'll get 15% off and free shipping at buyraycon.com/barstool, buyraycon.com/barstool. Dante, you're a DJ. The audio, the headphones, they are the key to the tool for the audio, user, right?
You know what drives me nuts, man? This is the old man yelling at the clouds DJ version. These young kids now, they DJ without headphones. I don't know how the fuck they do it. It's like visual, and it's such cheating because you use headphones to hear what the next song is coming in before it goes out to the crowd. So I don't know how the hell they do it, but yeah, I'm a big headphone guy. Was a Pioneer guy. Got a gift box of the Raycons. I'm very, very impressed with not just the sound quality, but the lows on them. Very hard to nail in a small headphone. They did a great job on it. Awesome headphones. No bullshit. Great headphones.
Wear what the pros wear. Dante the Don says so himself. All right, Dave. So I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. We'll go to baseball side of things now. This is the Barstool Sports episode, baby. All capital sports. The White Sox get a W over the Orioles. 5th win since the All-Star break. Is that correct?
I believe 6. I believe they until yesterday they were 5-45 in their last 50 games.
Oh my God.
How is that possible?
I brought them up as a joke where we don't need to talk about those losers. I truly think that baseball needs to do something to punish teams that do shit like this, because this is unacceptable. It's embarrassing, and I want nothing to do with even
So think about it from just a math and probability standpoint. That's 1 win every 9 losses on average.
Yeah.
Like, don't you think you would just by the law of averages, like, catch a team on a fucking bad day or catch a pitcher like
Dante, when you put a roster together as bad as this roster is put together, you don't get the benefit of the like scraping by on the margins like any other Major League Baseball team literally in the history of the game has been afforded the chance to do. They don't have even close to enough talent to just beat some team because it was an off day. They have to play literally the best possible game they can possibly play as a unit just to win 1 game here and there. That's how bad they are. They have to play their they can't play a 90% of their best and win. That's how bad they are. Any other team in the history of baseball, you could just catch someone on an off day and you pick up wins that way.
And I mean, Dave, they're just completely checked out at this point right now. So there's no way you're getting 100% effort out of any of them, right?
No, I would hope not. They're a bunch of losers, and I'm serious. I do want to move it on from them because I get angry talking about them. But the Cubs, there is a combined no-hitter.
No. We're not going there, Dave. We're not going there yet.
I don't want to fucking talk about the White Sox.
Really quick, I have a question. I'll move it off the White Sox, but I have a question for Clem. As someone who is a diehard for a fan or for a team with an owner who spends out of his mind, the complete opposite of Jerry Reinsdorf, do you feel like owners like him look at Reinsdorf and I mean, dude, I saw a clip the other night. They had 17 people in the crowd.
Oh yeah,
at the White Sox game.
I mean, it was a makeup day on a shit weather.
But do those owners, when I DJ'd the Cubs the COVID season and there were no fans allowed, we had more than 17 people at the COVID games than the White Sox did the other night. Yeah. So Clem, do owners like Cohen and these other, billionaires, do they look at what Reinsdorf's doing and that has to drive them fucking crazy, right? Like,
No,
oh, yeah.
dickhead. He's the head honcho of the
but
MLB owners
but
group. They
but
all love Jerry Reinsdorf. He's their guy. He's who suppresses wages more than anybody. He is so anti-player and anti-worker that it's like
Dave's right. So it's guys like Cohen that are the bad guys that want to
yeah,
pay
they
players.
all hate
And
Cohen. It's not the other way around.
Reinsdorf was
really,
one of the four owners who
Yeah.
voted against Cohen to get the Mets. And let's not forget, they're not the ones who are hammering, let's get the minimums up. It was the Cohen tax that was the new thing they added. So Cohen couldn't just buy a World Series team or whatever. So it's like guys like Reinsdorf, they kind of love. And thank God, like this new baseball schedule we were talking about, and we got to believe today. Thank God they redid this baseball schedule. So like the AL Central just couldn't fatten up on the White Sox. Now it's instead of 19 games in division, it's 13. So it's not as much like, oh, let's just kick the shit out of these guys down the road. So the Mets just played the White Sox 3 games. The Mets are in obviously this playoff run for one of the wild card spots. And every game was like a fucking World Series game because it's like, we cannot fall behind in this wild card race and lose to what's going to be the worst team of all time, right? Like they have to go 500 to not match the 862 Mets.
At this point, it's I think it's 500 now because they won yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, so
500.
And that's a team that goes, like you said, Dante. When you see a team in the last 10 in the standings, 1-9, you're like, that team is dead. That's their average. So it's like it's a banana land thing. But yeah, like guys like Reinsdorf, we had a guy like that with the Wilpons from once Madoff robbed them, and then they just stopped giving a fuck about the team. It's like perennial hell, and it's like the worst thing ever. I feel terrible for the White Sox fans, everyone except for Chuck. Chuck gave me shit, and I will never. And I said, Chuck, I wish nothing but misery on you. And even I couldn't have seen this coming. I didn't know they were supposed to be. Were they supposed to be like worst team ever going into the season?
No, I mean, like I said, probably 70-ish wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Bad, but not this.
not the worst ever, the Woats.
Yeah.
So across town, of course, Cubs throwing combined no-hitter. This probably would have killed Dave if he was alive right now.
No,
but
I
lost
don't-
him for the meantime. They pull him after 7 hitless innings. And there's two sides. Either you could be the old man yelling at the cloud about how you got to pitch, a complete game if you're throwing a no-hitter, or you could be like the modern guy and say, of course you pulled this guy. He had 95 pitches and 2 walks, and they were kicking the ever-living shit out of the Pirates 12-0. So, Dave, what's your thought of this as a guy whose arm is, let's be honest, slowing down from overtaxation over the years when we were throwing at the fast pitch machine?
Yeah, that is true. My arm is not the it's not in the 99th percentile. Well, it probably still is, to be frank. But my arm's not what it used to be. But I hate that, like, somewhere along the way 100 just became the arbitrary number. It's like, oh, can't go over 100.
I could tell you when it happened. I could tell you when it happened.
Dave.
Dante knows when it happened. It was when Pedro Martinez, he would always, after 100, his ERA would go up to it was 2003. And it was just coincidence. Of course, every guy gets tired, but that I remember they hammered that stat so much during the Yankees Red Sox Civil War that 100 just became the arbitrary number, and it's continued to this day, I believe.
Yeah, like if I understand, like, the more a hitter sees a pitcher in the same day, the better chances they are to make quality contact. I get all that, fatigue and all that, but when you're cruising and you're at 95 pitches, let him fucking either surrender a hit or a base run or whatever it was. Yeah, it was a no hitter, or let him get the no hitter. Like, why 95 pitches? Him throwing 95 pitches is no different than him throwing 120 pitches on one day. There really isn't in the grand scheme of things.
My whole problem with this is twofold. First off, can we, as a society of sports fans, can we agree that it shouldn't be called a no-hitter? It should be said the team got no hit.
No-hitter has to be a complete game, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, they were no hit. The Cubs didn't get. I mean, the starter didn't throw a no hitter. The team got no hit. But the thing that drives me nuts about this is what the fuck happened with all this elevation in health and wellness and the training facilities and the workout regimens and the recovery and all this shit. Why are players so soft now compared to, like, besides Justin Verlander, who do we have nowadays that even comes close to Nolan Ryan? Like, that would just go up there
Teams.
and throw 100 until their arm fell off and then come back 4 days later and do it again. Like these workhorse pitches, like pitchers, they were like a dime a dozen back in the 80s and even in the 90s. And now it's like these guys, like they throw 80 pitches and it's their velocity goes down. They become injury prone. It's like, how did this become like the norm and the standard?
Analytics and all that shit. They were floating a rule. I read this like 2 weeks ago, maybe, that they are considering making it if your starting pitcher has to throw 6 innings, no matter what. You have to throw 6 innings unless you give up 5 runs or unless there's an injury, obviously. There was a couple other like rules, but if your starter's in there, he's going 6 innings. And that's the way baseball used to be. Like, I remember, speaking of arbitrary numbers, if you got to 200 innings pitched, you had a quality season. Now, a handful of years ago, it was like, oh, he'll give you 180 good innings. Now it's like 150. Like,
You're
when are we
right.
going to stop? Where
You're right.
does it stop? It's like
You're
150 innings. Oh, man, he's kind of a workhorse. He'll give you 150 every year.
You're right. And the contracts have just gone up exponentially. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
Baseball stinks right now.
I also don't know, like, if a manga, is he a Japanese pitcher?
Yes.
I know
Yes.
sometimes with Japanese pitchers, like they worry about the workload and stuff because they are on different schedules over there. So I don't know.
I thought they threw less frequent, but more when they
longer.
threw.
Okay.
I want to
Yeah.
say that I could be completely wrong here. I thought it was a 7-day rest day, but they would throw like 150, 150 pitches or
That
whatever.
would be pretty sweet. Maybe we could add some more rotation slots, and that's how we get guys to pitch more games, right? But then I guess you're getting 6 and 7s instead of a 1 through 5.
It was actually cool yesterday. Before he showed up to the ballpark, he had a Walter Payton jersey on. And he came walking out of the players' lot. Everyone took pictures. Like, this Japanese guy knows who Walter Payton is. That was funny.
Big sweetness.
And then
Yeah.
he threw it. And then
He seems like a real goof in a good way.
What'd he throw? 7 innings?
Yeah, 7 innings, 95 pitches.
I mean, you're right, Dave. That's a quality start. That's not a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good start, but whatever.
Well, once the Japanese pitchers start wearing Walter Payton jerseys, you know that football is back. So football is finally back, and ordering a Part of My Cheesesteak for your game day meal or late night eats is the best play call you can make. Part of My Cheesesteak brings you awesome cheesesteaks and loaded fries delivered right to your doorstep, and will be offering free delivery throughout the entire football season. Take your pick of our delicious cheesesteaks made with fresh, thinly sliced steak, melted provolone, mouth-watering cheese sauce, and caramelized onions on a toasted hoagie roll. We have classic cheesesteaks, Chipotle cheesesteaks, chicken cheesesteaks, buffalo chicken cheesesteaks, and many, many more. You can order the popular Big Cat combo and get your cheesesteak of choice, fries, and a drink. So find a Part of My Cheesesteak near you and order yours now at partofmycheesesteak.com. Use code AWL for free delivery. I just got one of those little griddle inserts for my grill, and I love, just trying a bunch of different stuff. Cheesesteaks, I can make an all right one. You just can't make it as good as the restaurants. You got to get it delivered. Get your cheesesteak.
I disagree with that. I think I could help you out there. Okay, Clem. We'll
Dave, let's talk about this at a different time because I think Part of My Cheesesteak is the best place to get your cheesesteaks from.
Clem, you can try it on your own all you want. I would have to teach you a thing or two because I am like Michelin quality, but we're talking
on a griddle. Dave is a badass griddle cook. I will give him that. You're gonna put your mind in the gutter on this one, but he's cooked breakfast for me a few times. It's been very, very fucking good.
A White Sox Dave cooking show is where this has to all end one day, which is, I think, everyone's dream at the company. So.
I've discovered. We'll talk about it later. I want to talk about Part of My Cheesesteak. Like, you can try it all on your own. It's very easy. We're talking football Sunday though. Fire up your phone, just order it, get it directly to your door, have it ready for kickoff on Sunday at noon. I like to get it at like 11:55. That way, I'm like halfway done with my sandwich as kickoff's going. That's me personally. But
order it early, so then you're not answering the door at kickoff. You could go cheesesteak tonight on Thursday, Chipotle cheesesteak on the Friday night game, chicken cheesesteak on Saturday because obviously college football, buffalo chicken cheesesteak on Sunday, and then we kind of just do the loaded cheese fries and whatever little sides you want to go along the way on Monday Night Football. So there's plenty of ways to get your cheesesteaks at Part of My Cheesesteak. Talk about the NFL. Bill Belichick.
Wait, hold on. Use promo code AWL for free delivery.
Yep, I said that, but for the people to know, AWL. Bill Belichick, the hardest working man in sports right now. So he appeared on Instagram now, InstaFace, whatever the whole thing was. It's crazy that we used to find that entertaining back in the day. It was like everyone had belly laughs, 300 blogs about it, would go viral. But he is now set, now that the season's about to start. So this is everything Bill's on. Pat McAfee show appearance for a weekly spot. Every Manning cast, whenever they're on, which is probably about a dozen throughout the NFL season. Friday show with Peyton Manning, breaking down the upcoming games on a Monday Night Football matchup. Spot on Inside the NFL, which I want that show to just be great like it used to be. Weekly appearance on Let's Go with Tom Brady, and then his own show on Underdog Fantasy. I said, the only thing Bill Belichick isn't doing is blogging, and I think Dave could open up a spot here. Imagine Belichick and old balls just double teaming either a Pats blog or fuck it. Like we can get some old school like smut blogs or something like that. So Bill Belichick, the hardest working man in football. Dante, what do you got about your boy just becoming a fucking media personality after years of stonewalling them at the press conferences?
Dude, I'm conflicted because so he used to do a Monday show every year on WEI in Boston, and it was great because he was how people are seeing him now, but it was quick. He was actually like pretty good guy about it. He donated all the money that they paid him to his coaching staff. So he'd give bonuses to, his coordinators and all that with that money. But he was, open, gregarious. He was the total opposite of the guy you see on the podium, stonewalling reporters, every post game. So seeing him have this coming out party, I guess, nationally, and everybody fall in love with him and be like, wow, he's not a raging prick and huge asshole. It's endearing, but it's also like, God damn it, man. Why weren't you just like this like years ago? Like it would have been so much easier. I feel like the asshole Pat fans like Portnoy and everybody are happy that he was a dickhead like that because it played into the whole persona. But it would have been so much easier on the fan base and the team, I feel, if he wasn't such a dick, because I don't think the punishments would have been as severe as they were for all the shit that he got caught doing.
That's probably true. That's probably true. And the way the media
not.
covered his shit. Dave, what do you have to take on this? I don't know how you feel about Belichick in general.
I was always of the opinion that Belichick was the engine that made that Pat's dynasty run. Once Brady won his Super Bowl with Tampa, then I changed that stance and admitted I was incorrect. I mean, I don't know. He's not gonna. I love the Manning cast for one, but like seeing him come on it, that doesn't make it any better for me.
Oh, it's gonna
I don't need
be.
to see him at all. I
It's
never
gonna
need to see Bill
be,
Belichick ever again.
dude. It's gonna be must-watch TV. I mean, Peyton and Eli ribbing him relentlessly, and then him giving it back to them.
I don't
It's
think
gonna.
that's how it's gonna be.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, it's
if
gonna.
that's what it is, then awesome. Like I could be wrong, but like if like
Oh,
I didn't know he had that show where he was like gregarious and unbuttoned. Um, for
it's gonna be.
WEI, if he's like that,
Um,
then sure, it might be awesome, and it might be football porn if they really get into like the nitty gritty of like.
Oh, 100%. You have two of the greatest football minds ever, in Peyton
Mhm.
and Belichick, and then you got goofy,
Eli,
idiot
yeah,
Eli, who I think they're both going to run circles around. But I mean, I think it's going to be must watch, must watch.
yeah, maybe.
If you ever watched the, I don't think it was 30 for 30. I think it was NFL Films did the two Bills. It was Parcells and Belichick sitting at a dais talking about. I mean, those two guys together know more about football than fucking anybody on the planet. But they were talking about games from 30, 40 years ago like they were yesterday, and just so in depth, like layers and layers and layers that like the average fan like you and me were just like mind blown about. I mean, I think it's going to be the same thing with him and Peyton. I can't wait. I'm like so pumped for Monday Night Football now. I've been down on it, but I can't wait to watch Manning cast every week.
Oh, I think it's going to be awesome. My only concern is I think he almost took like bit off more than like he has so much stuff. I think like 3 shows where he could really like dive in on shit. Like there was that one, every time there's a clip of Belichick talking about stuff with his hair down. I remember it was like the NFL top 100, or they did something with him where he was on the panel and he would talk about how they would like run weird plays at the end of blowouts just to like mess with people's data. So like, oh, the Patriots run this at the end of games. Like they just did little things like that. Him and Ed Reed chopping it up was always great. Him and Peyton just talking about like how they would prepare for each other. I think he's gonna be a fun guy. He's always been a fun guy, and I like when coaches don't give out any information. I don't want coaches tipping their hand either way just because the media is upset about stuff. Like, don't say a fucking thing. Keep it buttoned up, and then after Sunday, you can talk about what you did and why you did it. So I think he's gonna be great. I think like the people who aren't just straight up Belichick haters will like love him by the end of the year. I truly do. The only thing that concerns me is if he's angling for a job next year, if that like stops him, makes him more reserved about certain takes on certain players or organizations. Cause like, I still think he wants to coach. And if he has to like watch out if he's trashing the Eagles or Jalen Hurts in case he wants that job, little things like that. So that's the one thing that concerns me.
Great point. Didn't think of that. That
So,
it will be interesting to look out for.
yeah, so it should be fun. Can't wait for fucking football. After show, we had the DraftKings punt catch competition yesterday. Our boy Mincy put together an all-time. He just does what Mincy does. Puts together a great Mincy clip. Had the gloves on backwards. And our boy White Sox Dave. They said the hair. I saw the picture. All these people are doing by retweeting this picture is just getting that video. Gonna make it so much sweeter when you guys go to, is it Turkey for the hair transplant?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to make you a stronger man because of it. So the shower will take, and it will be the most luscious head of hair. People forget Dave didn't have a full head of hair. El Prez back in the day, and now he has that luscious hair. So we're rooting for you, Dave. When is that trip to Turkey? Has that been scheduled?
We had it. So it's absolutely happening. It's a sole sponsored, paid for video and everything. But getting guys to go literally to the other side of the planet, 7 of them, a little difficult scheduling wise. So we had a week set aside, but now it's kind of back to square one. We think it's going to be November now.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Who else is going on this trip?
Me, Ed, Rudy, Ken Jack, Smokes, Donnie. Obviously, he's not getting the procedure though. He's just like his series, obviously, and then I think like 5 fans, just random people.
Nice. I heard they do teeth over there too, or at least in Albania.
It's all cosmetic surgery over there. And people think I'm going to fucking the Korngal Valley to make this happen. And Istanbul is a very first world country. And I don't think it'd be it wouldn't be different than going to Toronto. I don't
Dave,
think.
you gonna get a BBL while you're there too?
No, I don't want to sit on a 15-hour flight backwards the whole way.
Yo, you heard that too? I just heard that
actually
this
is a
weekend.
thing.
I know, I heard that this weekend. I was going to segue into that. You knew about that?
I think everybody knew about that.
I did not know. I did not know that. I heard that if you fly from, I think it was Puerto Rico and Colombia back to the United States, like all the women are sitting facing the back of the plane on their knees, like the whole plane ride.
Oh yeah. Man. Well, maybe that'll be the next series. Dave gets a BBL, and then he can, we'll have a specially made plane seat for him to make him fly back safely. Fun fact: Bull was from Istanbul, Turkey. Old Punch Out legend right there. So that's the rundown. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully Monday's rundown we'll have the big 3 back for NFL Week 1. Nothing but a happy recap for the Bears. Nothing can go wrong, right? The future's here.
My prediction is because everybody thinks they're going to win Week 1. I think they're going to lose Week 1, and then I think they're going to come back in
Texans.
And Texans, the team everybody thinks they're probably going to lose to. I think it's going to go backwards. That's just what's going on in my head.